In a move that sent shockwaves through Washington, Senator Marco Rubio has assumed the mantle of America's top diplomat, becoming Secretary of State in President Trump's second term. This appointment alone would be significant, marking a new chapter in U.S. foreign policy. However, Rubio's purview extends even further. He has also stepped into the role of Interim National Security Advisor, a position left vacant after the abrupt dismissal of Mike Waltz. This unprecedented dual role has ignited a firestorm of debate, with questions swirling about Rubio's ability to juggle these demanding positions and the implications for America's place in the world. Rubio's journey to this unprecedented position of power is marked by both political maneuvering and a shifting political landscape. His initial appointment as Secretary of State was met with mixed reactions, with some praising his experience on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and others expressing concern over his alignment with President Trump's often unconventional foreign policy views. The subsequent dismissal of Waltz, reportedly due to clashes with the president and internal leaks, created a vacuum at the heart of America's national security apparatus. Rubio's appointment as Interim National Security Advisor, while presented as a temporary measure, has solidified his position as one of the most powerful figures in the administration. This consolidation of power has drawn comparisons to historical figures like Henry Kissinger, who famously held both positions under Presidents Nixon and Ford. However, the political climate in which Rubio operates is vastly different, characterized by hyperpartisanship, a volatile global landscape, and the ever-present scrutiny of the 24-hour news cycle. As Rubio settles into his dual roles, the world watches with bated breath. Will he prove to be a moderating influence on President Trump's impulsive foreign policy, or will he become a mere echo chamber, amplifying the president's America First agenda? The answer to this question holds profound implications, not only for the United States, but for the future of global order. The stakes are undeniably high. Rubio's performance in these dual roles will have far-reaching consequences, shaping America's relationships with allies and adversaries alike. The world is watching to see if Rubio will rise to the challenge, or if his tenure will be remembered as a missed opportunity in a time of global uncertainty. The weight of two of the most demanding jobs in government rests squarely on Marco Rubio's shoulders. The Secretary of State, traditionally tasked with diplomacy and navigating the intricate web of international relations, now also bears the mantle of National Security Advisor. This latter role places Rubio at the epicenter of crisis management, intelligence analysis, and advising the president on matters of war and peace. The sheer volume of work is staggering. Rubio is now responsible for overseeing the vast bureaucracy of the State Department, managing relationships with over 180 countries, and coordinating with numerous other government agencies. Simultaneously, he must stay abreast of global hotspots, assess threats to national security, and provide the president with strategic advice on a daily, if not hourly, basis. Many experts, including seasoned diplomats and former government officials, have expressed serious doubts about the feasibility of one person effectively managing both roles. Aaron David Miller, a veteran diplomat with the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, has gone so far as to call the arrangement impossible in a normal administration. The concern is that something has to give. Either the State Department will be neglected as Rubio focuses on the immediate demands of national security, or crucial time and energy will be diverted from advising the president on matters of global importance. This situation is further complicated by the fact that Rubio is operating within an administration known for its unorthodox approach to foreign policy, and its penchant for sidelining expert advice. The fear is that Rubio will be stretched too thin, unable to dedicate the necessary time and attention to either role, let alone both. This could have disastrous consequences for American diplomacy and national security at a time when the world can ill afford such a leadership vacuum. A key question surrounding Rubio's dual appointment is whether it will grant him greater influence over U.S. foreign policy, or simply amplify President Trump's existing agenda. While proximity to power is often seen as a path to influence, some experts caution against overestimating Rubio's ability to sway the president's thinking. Corey Sheikh, a respected foreign policy expert at the American Enterprise Institute, argues that Rubio is more likely to amplify, not influence, Trump's positions. She points to Rubio's past willingness to defend the president's controversial foreign policy decisions, even when they contradicted his own previously stated principles. This suggests that Rubio may be more focused on maintaining his position within the administration than on challenging the president's worldview. Furthermore, Rubio's appointment comes at a time when President Trump has shown a clear preference for surrounding himself with loyalists rather than experienced advisors who might challenge his views. This raises concerns that Rubio's role may be more about providing a veneer of respectability to the administration's foreign policy than about shaping its direction. The true test of Rubio's influence will be his ability to offer candid and at times critical advice to the president, even when it risks incurring his displeasure. History is replete with examples of advisors who were marginalized or cast aside for daring to disagree with their superiors. Whether Rubio possesses the fortitude to stand his ground and advocate for his own vision of American foreign policy remains to be seen. The early signs are not encouraging. Rubio's public statements since assuming his dual roles have largely echoed the president's rhetoric, suggesting that he may be prioritizing loyalty over dissent. Only time will tell if Rubio can break free from the echo chamber and become a true guiding voice on the world stage. Section 4. Past is prologue. Kissinger's shadow looms large. The historical parallel to Henry Kissinger, who held both Secretary of State and National Security Advisor roles under Presidents Nixon and Ford, is difficult to ignore. Kissinger's tenure was marked by both significant foreign policy achievements, such as détente with the Soviet Union and the opening to China, and controversial actions, including the bombing of Cambodia and support for authoritarian regimes. While some observers see echoes of Kissinger in Rubio's dual appointment, there are crucial differences between the two men and the contexts in which they operated. Kissinger was a seasoned diplomat and scholar with deep expertise in international relations, whereas Rubio's foreign policy experience is more limited. Moreover, Kissinger served during a period of intense Cold War rivalry, while Rubio faces a more multipolar world with a wider array of challenges, from great power competition to transnational terrorism and climate change. It is also worth noting that the nature of the presidency has changed considerably since Kissinger's time. The modern presidency is characterized by a much larger and more demanding national security apparatus, with a constant influx of information and crises requiring the president's attention. This makes it even more challenging for one individual to effectively manage both the State Department and the National Security Council. While Kissinger's legacy offers both cautionary tales and potential inspiration, it is ultimately up to Rubio to define his own path. He must navigate the complexities of the 21st century world order, balancing the demands of diplomacy and national security while contending with a president known for his unpredictable nature. Whether he can emerge from Kissinger's shadow and carve out his own legacy as a transformative figure in American foreign policy remains an open question. Section 5. A cast of characters, navigating the corridors of power. Rubio's dual roles place him at the center of a complex web of personalities and competing agendas within the Trump administration. Navigating this treacherous landscape will require political acumen, deft interpersonal skills, and an ability to build alliances while fending off rivals. Key figures influencing foreign policy include Vice President Vance, a seasoned politician known for his more moderate views, Steve Witkoff, a special envoy with close ties to the president, Stephen Miller, a hardline ideologue serving as Deputy Chief of Staff, and Sebastian Gorka, a controversial figure heading counterterrorism efforts on the National Security Council. Each of these individuals brings their own worldview, priorities, and relationships with the president to the table, creating a dynamic and often unpredictable decision-making environment. Adding to the complexity is the president's penchant for seeking advice from outside the traditional foreign policy establishment. This includes individuals like Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur who has reportedly clashed with Rubio in the past but maintains a direct line to the president. Musk's influence, driven by his business interests and his own unconventional views on global affairs, adds another layer of uncertainty to the mix. Rubio's success or failure will depend in large part on his ability to navigate this intricate web of relationships. He must learn to work effectively with those who share his views, build bridges with those who hold different perspectives, and stand firm against those who seek to undermine his authority or manipulate the president for their own gain. It is a high-stakes game of political chess, and Rubio must choose his moves carefully if he hopes to emerge victorious.